So this is just a short-ish review of the Bear Paws Wilderness Design tent, Lagarita. This is a 740 gram tent with all the mods that I wanted done on it. This is a tent that I bought from America from a guy called John Schultz. Very nice guy, tent maker, cottage industry. Makes some high quality gear to your specification. So I took one of his base designs and asked for some mods. Everything was done great. Seam sealed in the States, so you don't have to worry about that. And very attractively priced. Excellent price on these. So I'm just going to get this out to show you, do a little review of it, show the inner that I made for it, or you can buy inners from him as well, and just let you see what it's all about. This is my favourite tent at the moment. This is a present bought for me on my birthday, so I was very chuffed about that. So you can see it in the Brecon Beacons. I used it in the Brecon Beacons and a few other camps, but I'll just show you a technical review of it today so you can see what they're all about. Okay, I'll set it up. Okay, tent's up. This is truly a massive tent. It's about, I don't know, 4 meters long, something like that. Very wide. There's lots of configurations you can have. This is quite a low configuration if it's getting stormy. But you can raise it up, you can have these panels right out, you can get 4 or 5 people under it, no problem at all. Okay. There you go, it is huge. Let's go inside so you can check it out. So you can walk in pretty much, and once you're inside you can see it is just palatial. It's a massive tent. For 740 grams, it is just an incredible amount of work for that weight. An incredible tent for that weight. It's got a nice cat-cut ridge line, so it stays nice and tall. It's got side pull-outs, which I haven't guyed out, so it gives you a bit more room. And as I said, it's got lots of different modes. I might show you in a minute. These can be tied right out here. It's just like a flat tarp going all the way across for coverage, or you can have it right down like this and have just a huge place inside. So I know what you're all wondering. There's no floor in there. There's no floor in there. This tent is just a fly. When you get a bit more into camping and you're going like ultra lightweight, this is the kind of thing you go for, which is basically a tarp tent. And then you have your own inner, which is separate, which is also ultra lightweight. You can buy them, and they're very nice from John Schultz, or I made mine just because I wanted to make it, and I'll show you that in a minute, how it works. I would say these tents are quite a lot of work to put up. You have to know what you're doing, you've got to know where all the stresses go and things like that to get a really nice pitch. It takes a lot of practice to get a nice pitch. I've taken it out on the Brecons in 65-mile-an-hour winds, and it held up no problem at all. Chucking it down with rain, again no problem at all. So this is highly waterproof ripstop fabric. You can see all the seams are generously coated in silicone, so there's no chance of it leaking. That was done by John. He does all that by default on his tents. A lot of these tents you buy can be extremely expensive, eye-wateringly expensive, sort of 500, 600, 700, 900 pounds, and they don't come sealed, so they're not waterproof when you get them, and you have to seal them yourself. But John does it all for you. So these are this is a really nice touch. He's got nice side pull-outs that are reinforced, just to give you a bit of extra space in there. It's very nice. It takes 2 tent poles, one at the front, one at the rear. And obviously the height here is about 135 centimeters at the moment, and can be much higher or much lower depending on how you want to do it. So yeah, it's a phenomenal tent. I'll show you the inner now. I'll put that in and then bring it back to show you how it works. Okay, so now I've got my bathtub floor in. Bathtub floor is a floor that raises up at the edges, just to stop water, if it's flowing down, it will flow underneath or not flow on top of your ground sheet. This is one I made. This is a special, quite reasonable price fabric that goes up to 10,000 hydrostatic head, which is extremely waterproof. May get slightly damp due to condensation, but won't let the rain permeate through from the ground, and it's very reasonably lightweight, 75 grams per metre squared. So yeah, this is a really nice ground sheet, really lightweight. It's got its own stuff sack, so if it's wet you can pack it away without it. Yeah, it's got its own stuff sack, so you can pack it away without it getting all the rest of the stuff wet in your bag. Something I just added just a few days ago was these. Hang on, I'll bring you in closer so you can see what it's all about. So these, I was talking about cam snaps on another video. These are plastic like rivets that you can add. They're like on your coat, you know, just snap your coat together. I've added these all the way along with a bit of grosgrain ribbon, and I'll show you what that's for in a minute. It's to allow me to have, so if I want to sleep like this, I've got all the room I want. It's huge, and it doesn't sort of degrade from the great design of the tent. It just gives you as much room as you want to create with the tent and the way it's designed, etc. So yeah, this is the way I do quite a lot of the time. But in the summer, obviously we've got midges and things like that. So you can add inners to this, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which add it bug protection all the way through. But to be honest, I quite like it like this, maybe in a bivvy bag, just to keep that moisture off, that dampness off, or if it's really cold, to give you a bit of extra warmth. You notice at the end there, there's a massive vestibule to add luggage and storage and things, and then here you can cook here just fine. Great little tie outs, little sort of shock cord on little grips, etc. and they just work exceptionally well. Easy to work with your hands when you've got gloves on and things like that. I'll just show this so you can see the amount of room you get. So this is under a lot of tension, but yeah, loads of room at the front, at the sides, loads of room at the back. So yeah, this is the bathtub floor, so this will keep you dry when it's chucking it down outside. No problem at all. I'll show you the next bit, which is the bug mesh inner that I made, just to show you how that works. Okay, so the inner net's in. You can see here, got full bug protection. You can see now the cam snaps on the edge. I just popped to a certain way in on the inner, and I'll show you that in a bit more. It's got 2mm bungee tie outs just to give it a bit of tension at the back and in the middle. It's got door tie outs here with a toggle and a loop. This goes onto the loop of the tent just to hold this out a little bit as it goes in. I've only just realised this, so I'm going to change this to give a proper little tie out like that. Yeah, and I've also noticed you can tie the door back on a peg as well, because I'm using the other tie-outs at the moment. So yeah, it's got a full number 3 zip. Just undo this. It's got high visibility loops just to see in the dark a bit easier. And you can see you've got a massive room inside now. It's huge. Fully bug protected, so the skirt is water resistant, so it protects from spray and spin drift and stuff like that, and then it pops onto the floor with the cam snaps about halfway up, so there's enough fabric here to stop any mozzies getting in underneath, because your gear's on it and your mat and all the rest of it, but it's completely removable, so I can use this floor with a different mesh for a different size tent or a TP tent, or I can use this mesh with a different floor, or without the floor. So it's a good way to have a sort of mosquito proof but removable top and bottom without adding a lot of weight with zips and velcro and stuff like that. So it's something I just thought about in the last few days. So I just tie these door backs and you can see what it's like. So the doors are tied back now. Got 2 tie outs with toggles and loops on the bottom and the top, so it holds it back really nicely. Now these tents can get a bit saggy at the top because these tarp tents are designed to go all different heights, so you have to make your inner to match the heights of the different tents. So what I've done is I just put a bit of elastic round on a tie out, so you can adjust the tautness of these doors going down and tighten them up using 2 hands. So yeah, you can tighten it to get the tension on the door really easy. You can't use that one on a pyramid type because you've got a lot more seams to worry about, but just on a peak you can easily. So I'm going to go back in the tent now so you can see how huge it is. So I'm 6 foot, my head is at the other end where the pole is, and you can see I've got loads of space. You could probably get 2 people in here in this configuration, or you can open it right out and get at least 4 people in here, no problem, with different ground sheet. This ground sheet I designed just for 1 person. So yeah, this is the inner net in the Lagarita. It works exceptionally well. There's enough gap between here with a nice tension on it to the fly, so you don't get condensation in. This is all cap cut, the same curve as the tent, so you get a nice representative kind of curve along with the tent. You see here, there's plenty of gap between here and the top of the tent, so you won't get any condensation coming in. The reason you have mesh all round is obviously to help prevent condensation. I'm just going to move the microphone up a little bit, so I think it's going to be ideal. I'll show you the back bit. I've got his fluffy hat on today because there's a bit of wind. Okay, so the back has a separate zipper. And then you've got access to the rear storage area to put your boots and storage and whatever you need to stick out there. Your rucksack will go into there very easily, or you can just open it up and have the breeze blowing through, which is really nice to do. All nice high quality zips. Everything is finished very nicely, even on the joints, which is the tricky bit on the mesh. See, the joints are all very nicely finished, super strong, gonna last a lifetime, I think. And the reason you have the sort of semi-waterproof fabric halfway up is to stop the breeze coming over. When you're lying down, it's designed to be the height of you, so the wing goes across the top. The wing goes across the top, but also with a pad underneath. It's designed to be cope with that as well. So for this height, it's just about right to have some air circulating for condensation management, but also to, if it's really windy, and I've been out here in real wind and it just stops the breeze just blowing you all night long, so it's just perfect really. I really like it. So that's the mesh inner. Take your back out. What we're going to do, I think, you can see how massive it is. It's just, I think it's 730 grams for the tent itself, and then the inner is another 400 grams, I think. So it's about 1.2 kilograms. You've got an enormous tent, fully mesh protected, modular inner, so you can use it with or without the mesh. And I think for that weight and the price is just incredible. You have to look at the prices online. It's just almost a no-brainer. If you're really into your campering and you're really into your ultralight stuff, but you don't want to go carbon fibre because of the price, this for me is the best deal out there today. Really brilliant design. John Schultz, who made it, or his company made it, he's got some great designs on his website for tents, and they're all high quality, handmade in America and then shipped to you. I didn't get charged any. I won't say anything at the moment. You've got to be careful when importing from America. You might get charged tax. Depends on the products and things. So I didn't get charged tax on this, but you might if you import. So just bear that in mind in the price. But the price is so good anyway. It's not a massive issue. Right, I'm going to show you a different setup now, which is the setup just designed for maybe 4 people sleeping with all these guide out, etc. So I'll show you that now. Okay, so the tent's now in kind of wide mode, if you like. So these are guide out extremely high, and the front doors are guide out. You can see it adds an incredible amount of space. You could easily get 4 people across there if you had to. This is more for fine weather, not for storms. But in the summer, this is a great way to have the tent have lots and lots of room, lots of airflow, and just guide out differently. So just for people who might be thinking of getting it or have got one already, especially in the States, you can tension these back in this mode, so all these move slightly back, and in the end you get a bit of a baggy bit. If you tension this down as an inward V instead of an outward V, you get a nice tension on it, so it stops it blowing around. It's a great little mod way of setting it up if you want a bit more tension on the top. So yeah, I just left this in for now just to show you the difference in room that you've got either side. I'm going to take the net out now so you can see the actual room that you've got. It does pull the net out quite a bit, so even with this in you get a lot more room inside. Just open the zip a minute. You can see. So even like this, because the sides are now sloping, it does give a bigger impression of space, and because of the cam snaps holding it to the ground sheet, it pulls the ground sheet up as well. So you've got plenty of options there. It does make the whole thing about half as much, again bigger I would say, at least, which is great. I'm going to take this out now so you can see what it's like with it out. In all my ground sheet I've got bungee cord running around the edge in a channel, and halfway along I've got pig-nosed stoppers, so I can tension the ground sheet on all sides independently to give a bit more configuration. But this loop you can put around your pole and it just holds it to the front, which is quite handy there. Okay, I'll just take the inner out and you can see what it's actually like. So I'm taking the inner out so you can see what it's like. So this is the size of it without the inner net. It's massive. I just love it. For the weight, I think this is one of the best tarp tents you can buy for the cost, weight and design and value. It's just great. I love it. So this is interesting now from what I've looked at, because we've got these cam snaps on the edges. What I could do is move this over or have side pieces on here and just attach the 2 ground sheets together with the cam snaps, which would be excellent. Have a little raised edge, but put gear and keep it dry, etc. So you could make a extension wings to the ground sheets, which would be small and light, that would be pretty good. You can see even with the back end V'd in, you still have a great amount of storage space. So yeah, it's just amazing. Love it. It's quite quick just to drop down and put it back to the other mode, so you can have it like this, and if the rain's coming in, you can just shut it back down again and have it in a smaller mode. These are quite handy. I guide these out when the winds are tight, gives you a bit more room inside, but more important, stops it flapping around, and that's what will give you stability in the wind. See the V on the end, inverted V. It's just a great top tent. Recommend it for anyone who's serious about sort of losing weight or in their gear. I have no advice for slimming, but yeah, if you want to lose weight on your gear, or you want to lighten your load, or you want to get into a bit more sort of dedicated tent camping that needs a bit more practice to do to get it good, but pays you the dividends in flexibility, different conditions, modular systems, then this is the kind of tent you're looking at. There's loads of great ones out there, to be honest, but for value I think this can't be beat. I think it's awesome. You just lie here, loads of room, just chilling on a summer's day. It's great. Loads of ventilation. I didn't have any condensation problems when I've been out in it recently, as long as you don't touch the fly in the morning, obviously, because there will be a slight condensation film on it, but it's not heavy. You'll see in my videos that it was fine. Nothing came through to the inner or on the ground sheet, so that's it's all good. All the seams held up well, nothing leaked, so yeah, it's really, really good. And there you go. That is the Bear Paws Wilderness Design top tent Lagarita model. There's lots of models, great value for money. John Schultz is the guy who owns the business, and what I like about it is because it's a cottage industry, it's a more personal kind of service, so you can say exactly what you want. I wanted these doors elongated, so these are bigger doors than you would get normally. I wanted a zip instead of Velcro, so he's put that on. I wanted storm flaps, which he's added, very nice material for storm flaps, generous storm flap. Got a buckle on the end to stop the zips opening. He just does anything you want, he'll just do, he just knows what he's doing. But the nice thing is, because it's cottage industry, John will contact you directly. You can talk with him on email or give him a call. And discuss exactly what you want, and he'll come up with ideas to sort you out. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's not like in the UK though. In the States they're very short on discussion. It's very to the point, very factual, and obviously it's cottage industry, not so many staff, low overheads to keep great value, so that I'd rather them spend more time designing and making tents than chatting to people on email and customers on email. So it's quite very brief, everything you need, everything's confirmed before you buy, so there's no risk really. And this was, I ordered it on one day, and then I think it was shipped about a week and a half later. It was extremely fast shipping with all the mods, with all the customizations, and then it took about 3 or 4 weeks to ship from the States to the UK, so you did have to wait for that. But it's worth the wait, because you get exactly what you want. Yeah, and it's perfect. And if there's any problems or anything, he can sort you out. If you want further modifications, he can do that. And he also does completely custom design work if you want a custom in a tent for MLD tent, or a custom in or ground sheets for other tents. As long as you've got the specs for it, he can make it up for you. So yeah, really, really good guy. And a good company. I highly recommend them. So I'll put all the links below. I'll put the details on this tent. I'll put the details of the internet and stuff, the materials I used and where I got them from. Yeah, and all the bits and pieces you need to know. So yeah, for me, that's the Lagarita. Big success, good tent. I've used it now in lots of different conditions, hasn't let me down, and I should be using it for many years more. Okay, thank you very much. Cheers, bye.